thank you so much for joining me. In this practice, you'll need a yoga strap if you have one. If not, that's okay. And if you know that you like to practice with blocks, you can go ahead and do so, although I won't be specifically cueing for that. This practice is invitational, so if anything I offer doesn't feel supportive for your needs and your body today, I invite you to find movement and make choices that work best for you. With that, we'll get started in Supta Baddha Konasana. So making your way onto your back, bringing the yoga strap about halfway down the mat. Then bringing soles of the feet together and letting hands fall onto the belly or maybe the ground. Closing down the eyes or softening the gaze. Really letting your whole self arrive here. We'll be working with the idea of balance in this practice. So that can mean lots of things. Of course, it can mean physically balancing. It could also mean balance between the masculine and feminine, balance between effort and ease, between structure and intuition. And so we'll already begin engaging with this idea of balance through the breath. So beginning to become more intentional about the breath, taking equal length inhales and equal length exhales, cultivating balance here. Big inhale through the nose, filling up through the belly and the heart. And exhale as the belly softens towards the spine. If Ujjayi pranayama or oceanic breath is in your practice, let's begin inviting that in. So inhale through the nose and exhale through the nose, steady and slow. We'll take 3 more breaths here. Inhale, filling up. And exhale, everything softens. Inhale, nice deep breath. And exhale, letting it go. Once more. On your next inhale, extending arms out to either side, bringing the knees up through center. With the exhale, we'll let them fall towards the right, maybe taking the gaze towards the left. Gentle spinal twist, opening and unraveling across the heart. Next inhale, knees come back through center, and with the exhale, letting knees fall towards the left, maybe taking the gaze towards the right. Next inhale, knees come back through center. And with the exhale, hugging knees in towards the heart, giving a little rock from side to side here. And if you're using a yoga strap in this practice, we'll just need it in the beginning part here. So grabbing onto it and then looping the yoga strap around the bottom of that right foot. Left knee is bent, knee pointing skyward. With the inhale, beginning to extend through that right leg any amount, maybe in the direction of the ceiling. An option to stay here or extending left leg long onto the mat, and then really pulling the pinky toe side of that right foot back towards the face so the foot is even. Shoulders are still nice and heavy on the mat. Take an inhale, growing nice and long through that right leg. With the exhale, bending that knee in closer towards the heart. We'll move twice more like that. Inhale, lengthening. Exhale, softening. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, extending one last time. And with the exhale, softening that right leg, hugging knees in towards the heart, taking a little rock side to side. And we will swap that out. So hooking the yoga strap around the bottom of that left foot, planting right foot on the mat. Inhale, beginning to extend through that left leg and really plugging the left hip in line with the right. And tugging left pinky toe slightly back so that all 5 toes are even. And again, an option to stay here, or you can extend that right leg long onto the mat. So we're working into the left hamstrings as well as across the top of that right hip. Take an inhale, growing nice and long through that left leg. With the exhale, softening left knee closer towards the heart. Inhale, straightening. And exhale, bending. We'll do this once more. Inhale. And exhale. Last time, inhale, lengthening out. And exhale, releasing that, slowly hugging knees in towards the heart. You can set that yoga strap aside. We won't really be using that throughout the rest of the practice. So massaging out the sacrum here. Then we'll take this rock up and down the length of the spine, maybe 3 or 4 times, slowly making our way to a tabletop. So coming onto hands and knees. Fingertips are spread nice and wide. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. We'll move through some rounds of cat and cow here. So inhale, as the belly drops, gazing forward, keeping the face soft. Exhale, pressing through the palms, gazing inwards. Inhale, coming into cow. And exhale, pressing through the palms. And so option to stay here in this pretty traditional structured cat and cow, or option to invite some intuitive movement. Again, working with this idea of balance, tuning into what the body is asking for. And letting the breath be the guide to honor the body here. The next 3 breaths are yours. The next inhale brings you back to a neutral tabletop, and we'll extend that right leg out, back and behind. Toes are tucked on the mat, and just giving a Gentle rock forwards and backwards, opening up across the bottom of that right foot. Shoulders are rolled away from the ears. And then coming back through stillness, either staying here or inhaling, right leg to a hover, really engaging the glutes and those right hamstrings. Plugging down through that right hand, extending left arm forward, get nice and long with the inhale. Exhale, hug everything in. Inhale, extending out. Exhale, hug elbow to knee. Once more, inhale and exhale. Inhale, extending nice and long. Exhale, coming back to a tabletop. And we'll take that on the left. So extending left leg out, back, and behind, giving a little rock forwards and backwards. And then coming into a moment of stillness, and then engaging the core as well as the left glutes and left hamstrings to bring left leg to a hover. And really plugging into left hand and extending right arm forward. Inhale, get nice and long, one long line from right fingertips to left heel, and exhale, hug knee to elbow. Inhale out, exhale it in. Once more, inhale, nice and long, exhale, hug it in. Inhale, extending out, and with the exhale, coming to a neutral tabletop. We'll take one round of cat and cow to rinse that out. Inhale as the belly drops, and exhale, curving the spine. Coming back to a neutral tabletop. From here, we'll extend the legs out behind, coming into a high plank. Just firing up the core a little bit more here. And then the next exhale, hips lift up and back, coming into our first downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. So you can keep a nice bend in the knees, especially if this is the first down dog of the day for you. Then maybe pedaling into one foot and then the other. Fingers are still spread nice and wide, and think of sending more weight to the thumb and pointer finger to take some tension out of the wrists. Coming into some sort of stillness here. And then the next inhale, lifting the toes, gazing between the hands, taking lots of little steps up towards the top of the mat, coming into Uttanasana, forward fold. So again, the knees can be bent, letting the belly rest on the thighs, the upper body really dripping off of the pelvis here. Maybe shaking your head yes or no. And then rolling one vertebrae at a time. We'll slowly make our way to standing. The head is the last thing to arrive. Once you reach the top, shoulders circle up towards the ears, and then rolling them down the back, coming into Tadasana or mountain pose. Really grounding into all corners of the feet. Palms facing forward. Settling here a moment. Next inhale, we'll sweep the arms out and up, and we'll cross left leg behind the right and grabbing onto the left wrist with the right hand. We'll lengthen up and over towards the right side, really opening through that left side body. Inhale brings you back to center, and we'll swap sides. Taking right foot behind the left, grabbing onto the right wrist. We'll lengthen up and then over, opening through that right side body. Really squeezing the inner thighs to ground here. Next inhale, coming back through center. With the exhale, diving forward, uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, hands to the thighs or the shins. Exhale, hands plant, stepping into a high plank. Next inhale, shifting weight forward over the wrists, elbows hugged in, lowering all the way onto the belly, untucking the toes. Inhale, we'll lift up to cobra. And exhale, lowering down, planting into the hands, making your way back to downward facing dog. So we'll take this little variation of Sun A a few more times. So next inhale, lifting onto the toes, gazing between the hands, making your way to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep out and up. Exhale, collecting hands through heart center, Tadasana. Inhale, arms sweep out and up. Left foot steps behind the right, lengthening up and taking the upper body over towards the right. Inhale, back through center, and then crossing right foot behind the left, lengthening up and over towards the left side, lengthening right side body. Inhale, back through center, and exhale, uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, half lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, hands plant, high plank. Inhale, shifting the weight forward, and exhale, lowering halfway or all the way. And inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, we'll meet back in down dog. We'll take 2 breaths here, one for the right side, one for the left side, inviting balance. And we'll do this one more time, maybe playing with closing your eyes for some of the movements, really allowing the body to sense how it feels, knowing that the structure of this movement is the same. So next inhale, lifting onto the toes, making your way to the top of the mat, Uttanasana. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming into standing, and exhale, hands through heart center, Tadasana. Inhale, out and up, and exhale, left foot behind the right, extending up and over to the right side. Inhale, back through center, with the exhale, right foot behind left, lengthening the right side body. Inhale, back through center, exhale, diving forward. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, hands plant, stepping back, making your way through your Vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. We'll take 2 breaths here again. Weight evenly in the hands. We'll inhale, right leg high, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Pause here, circle up the hip or the ankle. Inhale, 3-legged dog, squaring off the hips. Exhale, knee to nose, hug it in. Inhale, 3-legged dog. And exhale, hug it in, really using the core to step that foot through. Lowering left knee, coming into Anjalayasana, low lunge. So if you're using blocks, hands can be on them to bring the floor a little bit closer to you. We want one long line out through the crown of the head, through that left foot. Take an inhale, getting nice and long through the spine, heart is open. Exhale, we'll walk the hands back, straightening any amount through that right leg, coming into half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. And here really think about plugging that right hip back in line with the left. Sometimes it likes to creep forward. Inhale, bending back into that right leg. And exhale, straightening it out. We'll do that once more, inhaling forward. Then exhaling back. Next inhale, we'll bend back through that right leg and then walking right foot out towards the right side, coming into lizard. So both hands are inside that right foot. And then option to stay here or circling right arm behind, coming into a quad stretch. So spiraling the heart towards that right side, and then really using the strength of the glutes and the hamstrings here to bring that left foot closer to you. Slowly releasing that, planting both hands down, stepping into high plank. Option for your vinyasa here. We'll meet back in a downward facing dog. We'll take that on the left. So next inhale, left leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip, pause here, circle anything out that might feel good. Inhale, three-legged dog, squaring up through the hips. Exhale, knee to nose, hug it in. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, and then stepping that foot through, lowering right knee, coming into low lunge. Again, spine is nice and long, and continuing to use the core so we're not dumping onto that right thigh. We're still nice and supported here, or left thigh rather. Get nice and long with the next inhale, and exhale, we'll walk the hands back, straightening through that left leg, coming into Ardha Hanumanasana, half splits. And again, see about plugging that left hip back in line with the right. Breathe wherever you land, continuing with these equal length inhales and equal length exhales. Next inhale, bending forward through that left leg. We'll floss the hip a few times. So straightening out, coming into half splits again. And once more like that, bending forward and straightening out. Bending forward once more, and then walking left foot out towards the left side, coming into lizard. Both hands are planted inside that left foot. And maybe planting into the right hand to reach the left arm around for a bit of a quad stretch. Sending your breath to places that feel tight or tense. Slowly releasing that to plant the hands down and taking your vinyasa here. Meeting in downward facing dog, we'll take one breath here and then do that same sequence, breath to movement. So next inhale, three-legged dog, right leg high, exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping right foot through, lowering left knee. Take one inhale here, get nice and long. Exhale, half splits. Only do that one time, inhaling forward, and exhale, coming into lizard, walking right foot towards the right side of the mat. Inhale, coming into that quad stretch. We'll stay for the exhale. Take one more inhale here, and exhale, releasing that, taking your vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Next inhale, left leg high. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, and gently stepping it through, lowering right knee. Inhale, getting nice and tall through the spine. And exhale, half splits. Again, we're only doing one of those this time. So inhaling forward, and with the exhale, coming into lizard. Inhale, maybe reaching for that right foot. We'll pause for the exhale. Take one more inhale here. And exhale, slowly releasing that, taking your vinyasa. Meeting in downward facing dog. Taking a couple breaths here. And so I invite you on these next several sequences to really tune in again to this idea of balance, especially when we're taking our vinyasas, this idea of effort and ease. What is your body asking for? Is it asking you to maybe skip a vinyasa and go straight back to downward facing dog, inviting a little more ease? Maybe you're needing a little more effort and strength today, so taking a vinyasa, maybe adding an extra chaturanga, really tuning in to how you might be able to balance your body through this practice today. Grounding evenly through both palms, we'll inhale right leg high, three-legged dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose and step it through. High lunge legs. Pausing here, getting nice and strong, really using the strength of the inner thighs and the pelvic floor. We'll inhale, arms up to crescent lunge and settling here. Maybe checking in with the hips, that both hip bones are pointing forward. Maybe bending a little through that back knee to get nice and long through that low spine. The lower belly is turned on. Take one more breath here, firing up the legs. Next inhale, beginning to straighten out through both legs, and with the exhale, bowing over that right thigh, coming into modified pyramid. So staying nice and high on those left toes will give you some more room in that right hamstring. Next inhale, think halfway lift with the upper body, and exhale, bending through that back knee to spring to the top of the mat, left knee to nose, really cat-like with the back. Inhale, we'll come into standing splits, extending left leg nice and high, grounding through that right foot. So as much as we're opening
our hips and hamstrings, we are strengthening. Take one more inhale here, and exhale, knee to nose, and then step left foot by the right at the top of the mat. Next, inhale, hips sink low, utthita, chair pose. Hands reaching towards where the ceiling and wall meet. And then inhale, straightening right leg, left knee towards the heart, stork pose, and then big transition here, circling left knee out and around. We'll land in a warrior two, taking any adjustments that you need once you land there. Again, really using the inner thighs and pelvic floor to stay nice and stable here. Energy through the fingertips. Inhale, we'll reverse the warrior, right bicep over ear. And exhale, cartwheeling hands down, taking your vinyasa or moving straight back to downward facing dog. Take one more breath here. We'll take that on the left. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, three-legged dog, squaring off through the hips. And exhale, knee to nose, and stepping left foot through. Staying high off of that back knee. Nice, strong legs. We'll inhale, arms high, coming into crescent lunge. And again, checking in here, hip bones are pointed forward, maybe a slight bend in that back knee. Continuing to breathe. Next inhale, beginning to straighten out through both legs, and exhale, bowing forward over that left thigh, modified pyramid. And really plugging left hip back and engaging our glutes and hamstrings, really this area between the two, what we might call our butt, the space between our thigh and our butt, to lift out of that left hip. Next, inhale, think halfway lift with the upper body, and exhale, bending the back knee to spring forward, right knee to nose. Really using the strength of the core here. Grounding through that left foot, we'll inhale, right leg high, standing splits. Can you bow even more over that left thigh? Take one more inhale here. Exhale, right knee to nose, and then stepping right foot by the left. Inhale, chair pose, utthita, really sending the weight back into the heels. You might be able to wiggle the toes off the ground. Settle with the exhale. Inhale, straightening through the legs, bringing right knee to heart. And exhale, slowly circling right knee out and around, taking a big step back, landing in our warrior two. Mahavir-Bhadrasana. Shoulders are away from the ears. And breathe. Next inhale, we'll reverse the warrior. Exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, maybe taking your vinyasa here. We'll meet back in a downward facing dog, taking your time to get there. And again, 2 breaths here, 1 breath for the right side, this masculine energy, and 1 breath for the left, the more feminine. We'll do that same sequence again, breath to movement. So inhale, 3-legged dog. Exhale, bend that right knee, open the hip. Inhale, three-legged dog, squaring off the hips. Exhale, knee to nose, softly stepping it through. Inhale, high crescent lunge, and settle with the exhale. Inhale, straightening through both legs. With the exhale, how slow and controlled can you go? Coming into modified pyramid. Inhale, halfway lift with the upper body. Exhale, bending back knee to spring forward, left knee to nose at the top of the mat. Inhale, standing splits, and we'll stay for the exhale. One more inhale here. Can you lift the left heel even higher? And exhale, left knee to nose, and stepping that foot by the right. Inhale, chair pose, hips sink low. We'll stay for the exhale. Inhale, left knee to chest, and exhale, circling it out and around. Big step back, warrior two. Inhale, reverses the warrior. And exhale, cartwheeling the hands down, maybe taking ekapada or one-legged chaturanga. Meeting in downward facing dog. One breath here. For the left side. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, stepping it through. Inhale, high crescent. Settle with the exhale. Can you soften something here? Inhale, straightening out through the legs. And again, nice and controlled with the exhale. Inhale, halfway lift with the upper body. Exhale, bend through that back knee, springing forward, right knee to nose. Inhale, standing splits, right leg extending long. Pause for the exhale. Inhale, lifting that right foot one more inch. And exhale, knee to nose, and then stepping right foot by the left. Inhale, chair pose, and sink even lower with the exhale. Inhale, right knee to heart, and exhale, circling it around. Can you land even softer into warrior two? Inhale, exalted warrior, left bicep over ear, and exhale, again, ekapada chaturanga is there. Meeting in downward facing dog. We'll take 2 breaths here. So we'll move into our standing, our balancing sequence now. And so the next inhale, lifting the toes, gazing between the hands, making your way to the top of the mat, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, arms sweep out and up, and hands come to heart with the exhale. So I'm going to face you just so that you can see a little bit better. So we'll start by putting more of our weight into the left foot, right leg towards the heart for stork pose. Really grounding through that left foot. We'll come into standing figure 4. Right foot is crossed on top of that left thigh. Sending the hips back. Pausing here, breathing. If any arm balances are in your practice, this could be a fun place to play. And then taking the peace fingers of the right hand and hooking them on that right toe, right big toe. So same hand, same foot. We'll inhale to standing, bringing that right knee outside, kind of in towards the armpit. This is a great place to stay. Or extending right leg forward, maybe extending left arm up. You can always play with bringing it out to the side, but continuing to ground through that left foot. Breathing. Slowly letting that go, using the muscles of that right thigh. I'm going to face the front again, continuing to breathe. We'll circle or swing that right leg through, coming into a standing splits. Maybe seeing if you can let the hands hover off the ground. You can either stay here, or if you want to practice maybe kicking into handstand, this can be a fun place to play. And we'll meet in a forward fold whenever you're done. Take inhale, halfway lift, and exhale. Your vinyasa is there, or stepping into downward facing dog. And we'll take that same little sequence on the left, so making your way to the top of the mat, meeting in uttanasana. Inhale, arms out and up to come to standing. And again, I'll face you. Sending the weight to the right foot this time. Inhale, left knee to heart, stork pose. Then crossing left ankle on right thigh, standing figure four. Again, arm balances are there if you want them, or just letting that left hip continue to open. Maybe you play with folding forward for a deeper opening, more sensation. And then hooking left peace fingers around that left big toe, coming to standing, left knee outside the left arm. And you can stay here, really compressing that left hip, or maybe extending left leg forward and really plugging the shoulders in line with one another. Maybe staying here, maybe extending the leg out to the side. It's your time to play. Slowly releasing that, keeping left leg extended forward. We'll swing that leg back nice and controlled, coming into standing splits. Left leg extending towards the ceiling. Again, maybe letting the hands hover off the ground. If you want to play with kicking into handstand. And then meeting in a forward fold whenever you're done. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, option for one final vinyasa here. We'll meet back in a downward facing dog. Next inhale, rolling forward to high plank. And exhale, lowering the knees, sitting back onto the heels, maybe closing down the eyes. And reconnecting with the breath if you've lost it. So we've built a lot of fire in this practice. And to sort of balance that out, we'll start to cool down. So maybe while we're here, taking a big exhale out of the mouth to release any captured heat. Really nice. Let's do one more like that. Take a big inhale. Exhale out the mouth. Blinking your eyes open if they were closed. We'll swing the feet around, coming into a seated position
moving the flesh away from the sits bones, legs extended forward for a seated forward fold. We'll inhale the arms up. With the exhale, extending heart towards the feet, and then letting your upper body drape over. You can let this be nice and passive, so let the head and neck be released. The feet can be nice and relaxed. Then inhaling up. With the exhale, we'll bring our legs in to a padasana. So the closer your feet are to your pelvis, the more intense it might feel on your inner thighs. The farther away your feet are from your pelvis, you might find a little more ease there. So taking whatever variation is best for your body. We'll get nice and long through the spine. And then again, bowing forward, letting the head and neck be heavy. Really signaling to the body that we are starting to wind down. The next inhale, we'll come back through seated. With the exhale, we'll start to make our way onto our back. Lowering down and then hugging knees in towards the heart, maybe giving a little rock side to side. And so we'll come into a reclined figure four for a little hip opener. So similar to when we were standing, we'll cross our right ankle on our left thigh, keeping that right foot nice and flexed to protect our knee. Maybe bringing that left knee in closer towards the heart, interlacing hands behind that left thigh. Continuing to breathe. Slowly releasing that and keeping the figure four of the legs, we'll let them fall towards the left side. So right foot is on the ground and right knee is pointing skyward. Arms coming up to either side, maybe taking the gaze towards the right. The next inhale, slowly bringing the legs back through center and hugging them in towards the heart with the exhale. We'll swap it out, so crossing left ankle on right thigh, coming into that figure four. Maybe drawing right knee in closer towards the heart, but keeping the left foot flexed. The upper body is still heavy on the mat, the whole spine is on the mat. So if you notice yourself rounding up or anything, maybe seeing if you can back off just a little bit. Then slowly releasing that, keeping the figure four of the legs, letting them fall towards the right side. So left knee is pointing skyward, left foot on the mat. Maybe taking the gaze to the left side. Breathe wherever you land. Next inhale, bringing legs back through center, and exhale, hugging them in towards the heart. One final time, giving the low back and sacrum a little massage. We'll
we'll come into one final shape here, happy baby. So either grabbing onto the calves or the feet, knees drawing outside of the armpits, giving the hips some final love here, maybe rocking side to side, straightening out one leg or both legs. And slowly releasing that, hugging the knees in with the inhale, bringing the forehead to the knees, squeezing out every last bit of energy here. And releasing that into final Shavasana with the exhale. So legs and arms extended nice and long. Closing down the eyes or softening the gaze if it feels safe to do so. And so here in Shavasana, we can allow things to integrate. We work on all of these things throughout the practice, and we do all these movements, and now we get to rest. We get to receive the gifts of our practice. So this is arguably the most important part of our asana, of our movement. We can let things settle. And so give yourself this gift of rest. Take time here. Please stay here as long as you would like. Really allow your body and your mind to come back into balance. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to practice with you again soon.